Hey guys, subscribe for daily content, and if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another interesting knife review / knife overview to share with you guys. This is the Maxace Halictus with this crazy, super cool textured zirconium laid into the titanium on both sides. Now, there are other versions of this knife, one with a sort of zirconium Damascus inlay, and yet another version that's got Damascus or zirconium Damascus and a Damascus blade. We're going to focus on this guy today because this is the least expensive version of the Halictus, and this is the third generation, or the Halictus 3.0 from Maxace. Thanks so much to Maxace for sending it in. You can actually pick this knife up. I'll put a link down in the description. I've even got a discount code through Maxace. You can check that out if you want to. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. Let's go ahead and take a look at some specs, try to give room there with that knife. So this is a big knife, 8.66 inches. I pulled this off of White Mountain Knives, by the way. 3.9 inch blade with a blade stock thickness of 157 thousandths. We are looking at M390 for the blade, and I believe Maxace tends to heat treat that M390 at about 60 HRC. We have a 4.72 inch handle length. And where's the weight? Well, we're going to talk about that. If you didn't know, by the way, Maxace knives are manufactured in China. We're going to talk about that, but in another section. Let's go ahead and take a look at some size comparisons here. What knives are similar in size that I've got out here that you might have for yourself? Definitely the Ontario Rat Model 1, and then I'd also put the AD10 out here up against it. It's not quite as burly. It's kind of in between, but it's quite a bit heavier. That this guy's got titanium, but the stock version of this knife is quite a bit heavier than either of them. Stock, for sure. Sorry about that. There, bumped you there, big guy. Anyways, let's go ahead and do a hardware check. If you don't have tools, I highly recommend mine. You can find them linked in the description or in the pinned comment. They are not expensive at all. The pivot is going to be a T8, and then your body screws, yeah, they had better be. Also a T8, just a couple of them there, and this is a titanium frame lock. By the way, what's TC4 titanium? That's Chinese grade 2 titanium. It must not be as good because USA uses 6AL4V grade 5. China's grade 2 is identical in composition to USA's grade 5. So I wouldn't pay too much attention to the numbers and letters there. It's the same grade of titanium. We just call them different things. So it's TC4 there, it's 6AL4V here. Anyways, yeah, very easy to take apart and put back together. Runs on bearings. I don't know if I mentioned that. As long as you have the right tools for the job, you should be good to go. Moving on into the actual review, here is the grading scale. You guys can take a look at it, pause it if you want to. We've got 6 categories. I'll try my best to be as objective as possible in these 6 categories. It's not possible for me to be perfectly objective, but I will do my best. And then after we've graded those categories, I'm going to do a completely and totally separate, very subjective Metal Complex cool factor score that you can include in your decision-making process, or you can ignore completely. So anyways, let's go ahead and start off with the first category. So for ease of manipulation, this is a titanium frame lock, and they have cut this out nicely. Very easy to access this. And the action is also very, very good, very reliable. The bearing action does feel good, not gritty or lumpy or bumpy or anything like that. The detent is also tuned properly. We have a very satisfying flip. It's pretty hard to screw up a titanium frame lock nowadays, and Maxace usually doesn't. It's pretty good. So I want to be clear about this. I don't take issue with the disengagement of the lock bar, the feeling of the action, like the pivot action, and I don't take issue with the flipper tab size and shape. It's pretty good. I would say light switch, not push button, because there's a little tip right there. We have to talk about the thumb studs, and I have to include this in my grading because they are here, right? So for people who like to use this area to deploy their knife, you could ignore it, sure. But I'm going to talk about it when I grade this here. They're like toilet flusher handles. I don't like these. I don't like them. The angle, actually, you're approaching them more so down here than from the side. Like they're angled as if you're going to open this from here. No, most of us are going to do it from down here. You can get them, but they're not very comfortable. All right. They also cause another issue, and they're not my favorite in terms of deployment. Now, I'm not going to be too harsh on it because, again, you can just ignore them, right? So I'm going to kind of combine how I feel about both systems there and give that a B+, which is still fine. There's nothing wrong. That's a good score for sure. Moving on into category 2, which is blade practicality. And here's the other area where these things cause a bit of a problem. As far as the blade shape itself, I mean, hand rub, satin finish M390, which has nothing to, I mean, that's just going to create less drag. So that's nice. I guess it looks nice and it's nice and functional, right? The edge actually comes down to a reasonably thin edge. I wouldn't call it thin, but reasonably thin, thinner than you would expect. A nice tip there too, and a nice curvature here. Plunge grind is not bad. I wouldn't call that bad. I've definitely seen worse, right? It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. But the blade is, generally speaking, practical. The issue is that these thumb levers, if you're cutting straight down, which sometimes while you're breaking down materials, sometimes you are going to do that. And so you have to turn the knife this way to clear those thumb lever things. I mean, literally 3/4 of an inch. That kind of sucks. Like, why not just put thumb studs there? Or better yet, Maxace, don't put them there at all. I mean, the one means of manipulation that works the best is the flipper, and it works so well that you don't really need those. I mean, I would say, you know, if you have to have those, you might need to redesign and put a choil here so that, you know, you can make use of this area, because while there's still functional edge here, it's kind of annoying to run into those things. I mean, they stick out. When you have a big hole or an oval or something, it doesn't matter if it you know stretches out beyond the initial part of the cutting edge, because there's nothing sticking out of the knife, right? So I suppose that probably wouldn't have been an option. There's not necessarily enough space there. I think I would have just preferred that they weren't there. While you can ignore them for deployment, you cannot ignore them during use. That does not make the blade useless, though. Far from it. I think I'm being more than fair by grading the blade practicality as a B- there. Moving on to category 3, which is comfort, both in the hand and pocket. We grade these both. Not going to have it in the hand and not keep it in your pocket. It's a pocket knife, right? Probably that's how you're going to carry it. So as far as comfort in the hand, it's pretty good. I don't like these ball bearing clips, but I'd be lying if I said it was too much of a hot spot, right? Using the knife, cutting with it, it's fine, very comfortable. I kind of wish there was jimping out here, but no part of this knife really feels super uncomfortable. I love this texture. It feels so good. And also, I got to point out here real quick, this texturing zirconium like this, which, by the way, zirconium, very expensive material, very heavy material, which we're going to talk about. It's a fingerprint magnet, for sure. But when you texture it like this, I've been touching it this whole time. It's beautiful. I love this. This is kind of the answer. You know, I've got a lot of oil slick zirconium knives that are smooth, and they're just, God, I feel like I have to wipe them off all the time. This is the nice thing about how they texture this. It looks really, really good. But the knife overall is comfortable. The issue when it comes to comfort is carry in the pocket. Number one, these ball bearing clips, not my favorite. It's far from impossible to get it in and out of the pocket, but it's fine. I can do it for sure. The other issue that a lot of people are going to have issue with, not everybody, but a lot of people, is that because of the zirconium, it weighs 7.5 ounces. Yes, if you buy one of the more expensive ones, it's gonna weigh a little bit less, a lot less actually, because of the Damascus. But really, we're reviewing the one that the vast majority of people would consider picking up. To my knowledge, they did not make a standard version of this, like for the 3.0. They don't have one that's just carbon fiber or titanium. Like, why? Make one with carbon fiber so that it's a lot easier to carry. 7.5 ounces doesn't sound like a lot, but chances are your knife probably weighs around 3.5 to 4.5 ounces. The vast majority of typical pocket knives do. When you jump from that weight to 7.5 ounces, I can promise you, it will make you change it'll make you consider what type of pants you are wearing that day. There are a lot of knives that I would carry around in athletic shorts and sweatpants, and this is not one of them. that makes the comfort for me a much bigger issue. It's not a complete and total deal breaker. It's not bad. It's not quite bad, but it is, in my opinion, much more of a problem for a lot more people. So, trying to be fair here, but I don't think I can score this better than a C- when it comes to that category. Again, ergonomically, fine, but you still have to take the thing with you, which will create, in my opinion, a comfort problem. Moving on here to reliability. It's a titanium frame lock, and it's made by Maxace. Maxace does a really good job with titanium frame locks. I have no issue with their geometry. I have no issue with their lockup solidity or anything like that. It's fine. Titanium frame locks are not the best locking systems out there, and they do rely on absolutely perfect geometry. They are still only as strong as their relief cuts. So this is fine. There's nothing wrong with this locking system. But again, I can't give it the highest possible grade because it is not in the top tier of locking systems, in my opinion, when it comes to folding knives. It is plenty reliable enough, and it will do the job, but I can't necessarily rate it any higher than something like a crossbar lock. A crossbar lock is probably a stronger system, but it has the downside of omega springs, which are not reliable. So I'm going to give it what I consider to be a completely and totally fair grade, a generous grade of B+. It's a frame lock. They're fine. They're good, on the upper end of good, but that's all the more I'm willing to give it. When it comes to overall quality, Maxace, one of the best in the game. Oh my goodness, the overall quality of this knife, the fit and finish, the execution, right? We have a beautifully centered blade. We have completely and totally solid lockup, no lock stick, beautiful action, beautiful detent. Look at the inlay work here. So nice. Oh my goodness. Execution, definitely. Maxace is definitely on another level, right? It's easy. You pick this thing up, you take a look at it. I mean, we haven't even talked about the blade finish here. It's so nice. Even cutting bevels. This is great. This is absolutely wonderful. Not quite S tier. I know if you guys have been following along with these newer style reviews, you're wondering how often I'm going to be handing out the S grade, and the answer is not very often. I need people to understand how hard it is for knives that are being reviewed by me to actually achieve that. So the vast majority of the time, you should expect A to be about the best grade that a knife is going to get. I reserve that for something truly spectacular. But I am going to give this an A. Absolutely, it deserves it for overall quality. It is spectacular in the overall quality department. Here's an interesting one. Value versus the competition for category 6. So we do not compare. Again, this grade is specifically meant to compare against realistic competition. So do we compare this with knife? No, we do not compare it with knife because there are too many different categories, right? This is a high-end premium Chinese production knife, but it is made in China. The labor costs are lower. They're dealing with some tariffs and things right now. So what's the price? It is $298. Well, for a knife, that's pretty expensive, but we're not just comparing with knife. Like I said, we're comparing with other high-end production premium Chinese pocket knives. Do we see a lot of zirconium at $300? No, we do not, despite the fact that it does create a bit of a carry comfort issue. We do not see a lot of zirconium. Certainly not big chunks like this that are finished really nice. The inlay work is just spectacular. Really cool. Outside of that, again, hand rubbed satin finished M390 blade. For $298, I feel like they are really up there. I have definitely seen a couple of knives that have really gone above and beyond, right? This isn't the absolute most spectacular value out there. But again, this grade is just, it's based on like objectively like what a lot of these materials cost and how much how good a job they did with it, right? So if you don't care about these materials, then you can absolutely ignore this category, just like you can any other category, right? But I'm trying to be fair here. Value for what you're getting versus the competition is really, really great. A- is what I'm going to give this in terms of value versus the competition. Now, that's it for all of the, as far as being objective. I'm going to move on to the Metal Complex Cool Factor score, which is completely and totally subjective. It's based on my opinion as a knife reviewer over the years and handling thousands of knives. How much does this tickle my fancies, my knife spidey senses, right? How cool is this? Pretty cool. Maxace often does tickle my fancies. You know, that sounds gross and bad, but yeah, they do that quite often. They make some really fun stuff. So I tend to really, really like these. But obviously this section is heavily biased, right? So that's why you can totally ignore it if you want to, or any section of this review if you want. Pretty cool. Not the most amazing thing I've ever seen, not by a long shot, but definitely cool. Definitely a lot cooler than your average pocket knife. Honestly, for my own personal cool factor score, and I love zirconium, by the way. That's a big thing. I mean, had they made the exact same knife and put wood in there, I would have been like, you know, but I don't like wood. So for me, B+. Cool factor score, definitely a nice high score. So taking a look at the final scorecard here, this is the part where you have to look at these categories and decide for yourself what it is that you are looking for, right? So do I recommend this knife? I mean, the value's good. It's fair. It's pretty easy to manipulate, minus those lever things, right? And you know, those blade lever things also cause an issue with, you know, practicality, right? Really, there's not a huge problem with anything here except for the carry weight. The vast majority of people, because of both the size and the weight of it, right? The vast majority of people, I think, are not going to want to pay $300 for this. It's really cool, and it's definitely going to be an awesome buy for a lot of people. I mean, if you don't care about the weight, then yeah, absolutely. If you don't care about the weight, go for it. But that's a pretty big one, right? It's not terrible, but it's a pretty big one. It's going to be a deterrent for a lot of people. So as far as whether or not I would recommend this to the average person, no, definitely not. It's not built for the average person. But if you like what you see here, and you don't mind the grades that I've given the categories that you care about, then yeah, for sure. Especially if you are in the market for a $300 pocket knife, I think they did a pretty good job with the value here. But yeah, that weight does hold it back for the average person. So anyways, that's going to be it for the review today. Thanks again to Maxace. I'll link this down in the description. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do of course have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.